Up and hear me neighbor, 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is
again, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. If you missed it this morning, we have started off our conversations with Mr. Attorney Martin George, and as we continue, we are talking about Salt Awareness Week. And to have this conversation with me, I have the lovely Ronique Thomas, who is a registered dietitian at the TRHA in the Department of Community Nutrition Unit. How are you doing this morning?
I am quite fine, thank you.
Oh, it's great to have you on this morning.
Lovely.
Love your color, very nice color that you have there.
Thank you.
Yes, and this morning we're talking about Salt Awareness Week that starts from the 13th, started from the 13th of May and is going all the way up to the 17th, which is this week. And so tell us a bit about what Salt Awareness Week is. Does it have anything to do with hypertension, or it's just sodium?
Okay, so Salt Awareness Week is basically, it's like a global annual event. So like you said, it starts from the 13th of May and it actually runs straight through up until the 19th. But the 17th of May is actually World Hypertension Day. So throughout this time, we basically spread awareness, we go out into the communities and we educate our population as it relates to the risks associated with excess salt consumption. And we try to basically just encourage persons to pay attention, to watch out for how they are eating, how much salt they are using in like their meal preparation and that sort of thing, because of course the research is showing how detrimental that excess salt consumption is over time. So it's basically a period where we just educate the public, raise that awareness and that sort of thing.
Okay, so when we talk about salt consumption, now a lot of the meals that we consume, especially in the Caribbean, we can't make it without having some salt there. So how do we strike the appropriate balance between having that good taste, right, or that Caribbean taste, but also maintaining the health component of our meals?
Yes, traditionally we do use a lot of salt in meal preparation. We love very highly seasoned foods, and that's one of the things that we are known for, which is okay. And of course, the recommendation, it's not that you are not allowed to have any salt at all or not use any salt at all. But it's more about cutting back or trying to limit the salt consumption and trying to, of course, use other ways in which you flavor the food. So it's not just salt alone that you want to use in terms of seasoning and that sort of thing. You want to use your fresh seasonings, your herbs and your spices and that sort of thing to try to give the food that flavor and start, weaning yourself off of the excessive amounts of salt in itself and the use also of, some of those, pack seasonings and those types of things. So it's more about, trying to get the flavors through natural means and that sort of thing.
Right. So when we look at when salt is introduced to the diet of the average citizen, you have very small children consuming highly salted foods and snacks. How do we strike the balance where our kids are concerned, and when is the appropriate time to start introducing any kind of foods that have salt in it?
So of course, salt would be in many of the foods that we consume. As it relates to children, we do have a situation where they do consume a lot of snacks that are very high in salt, which is why, of course, we are dedicated at the Community Nutrition Unit, especially this week. We are going out into the schools and trying to educate the young children as it relates to, cutting back on some of the salt and paying attention to some of the snacks that they use. It is a very difficult thing to do. It's very challenging to try to get the children to reduce the salt consumption because, of course, it's children. Children love to consume snacks. I would say that as the adults in charge of the children, the onus is on us to try to encourage them from the very beginning as it relates to healthy snacks. Start encouraging them with fruits and healthy snacks, things that they can use as opposed to the unhealthy packed snacks that they are in abundance out there right now. So if we basically just try to start encouraging them with their fruits and their vegetables and many other healthy snack options that there are out there, we will see that over time, even if they are exposed to some of these things, sometimes the majority at the end of the day is what you do overall that counts. So if 80% of the time a child is consuming healthy fruits, healthy vegetables and things like that, and then it's only occasionally that they would go and get these unhealthy packed snacks or those types of things, then you know you do the best that you can, and the child would, at the end of the day, it's the overall picture that matters.
Excellent. And you said that you guys have an awareness event that's taking place on the 17th. And this is on Hypertension Day.
Yes, so we basically have activities throughout all of this week, actually. So like I mentioned before, we are in the schools. We are in several schools doing programs with the children to help them to understand salt and salt awareness. We are also at several workplaces doing workplace wellness initiatives throughout this week, where we, alongside our primary care nurses, we are going to be doing screening, blood pressure testing, blood sugar, cholesterol, and all these different things in the workplace, weight and body composition assessments and that sort of thing. On the 17th, we are at Penny Savers Canaan, and we will be doing outreach activity to the public, where we are basically just offering the same services, the same screening. Come get your blood pressure tested, test your body weight, have mini nutritional counseling sessions and that sort of thing.
Excellent. And on Thursday, you guys are going around to the different offices. Is it only THA offices that you would be going to?
No, we have a few other organizations that we will be at. To be honest, I can't pull them up off the top of my head right now, but it's not only the THA organizations.
Excellent. And so if persons want to get into contact with you guys directly, how can they do so?
So we at the Community Nutrition Unit, we are based at the Scarborough Health Center. So if anybody wants to get information as it relates to, salt awareness, they can always come to see us at the Nutrition Unit at the Scarborough Health Center.
Excellent. And is there any anything you want to say to Tobagonians to encourage them to watch their salt as well as partake in this Salt Awareness Week?
Yes, of course. I would just like to encourage persons. The onus is on us as individuals to pay attention to our health. And in so doing, we have to monitor our salt intake. We have to pay attention to how much of that salt we are getting in our diet. So always be mindful. Watch the type of foods you are consuming. Watch how much or the percentage of the processed foods that you are having, your ultra-processed foods. Learn to read your nutrition facts labels, to be mindful of what to look for. Be mindful of how to point out whether a food is high in salt, whether it is low in salt, and just have that general understanding so that you can increase the quality of your life, because hypertension is a really serious issue now. A lot of persons are diagnosed with hypertension, and we want to do as much as we can to help to encourage persons to try to prevent that sort of thing, and also for persons who already have hypertension, how they can go about better managing their condition.
And I think one of the things that we have to encourage and remind people is that hypertension is not specific to age. Even young persons are often suffering with hypertension. So, Ronique, I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning. So well spoken. Such a pleasure to speak with you this morning. And I look forward to hopefully speaking to you again on many other dietary issues. Topics. Right? So I will see you again soon.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for sticking with us through this session. We will have a quick break and I will see you soon.
Thanks for favor to wake up and hear me.